Good morning, madam. My name is Pavithra. Today I'm going to present about the introduction of Sukuk. Sukuk is popularly known as an Islamic or Sharia compliant bond. In actual fact, it is an asset backed trust certificate. Sukuk is a plural of sa, which means legal documents that check. It is an Arabic name for financial certificate, but it can be seen as an Islamic equivalent for the conventional bank. It is in its simplest form, Sukuk is a certificate evidencing ownership of an asset and was developed by Sharia expert for the express purpose of answering in the financial world demand for the Sharia compliance debt instrument. The development of Sukuk in Malaysia. Asia continued to be a dominant player in the global Sukuk market. In the term of religion, Asia accounts for 72.1% of global Sukuk issuance since the inception of the market. GCC is the second largest destination of Sukuk issuance with the market share 23.3%, and it continues to be a market leader and a dominant player in the term of issuance, with a market share of 62.5% as of 2017. The member of the jurisdiction who are directly or indirectly issuing Sukuk are increasing year over year, which is turn is keeping Sukuk market progressive. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Aiman. So today I'm going to present about the Sharia opinion duration regarding permissibility of Sukuk. My research got found two categories. The first category is the conversion of the Sharia compliant debt into a tradable paper that can be bought and sold in the secondary market. This process is known as story and is viewed as a similar arrangement to that of the conventional securitization process. The difference is that the subject matter of Islamic securitization must be based on the Sharia compliant arrangement, whereas for the conventional securitization, the subject matter includes interest-bearing transaction. The next category is the transformation of Sharia compliant liquid asset into investment certificates that are tradable in the secondary market. This process is known as tasking, and the underlying asset for tasking is fair asset, investment portfolio, or transferable right. This process known as a sukuk. Thus, Sukuk is another result of the Sharia compliance securitization process. Thank you.
Malaysian Islamic bonds are structured on the basis of Bai al-Inah and subsequently traded on the basis of Bai al-Dain. The process bond issuance and trading consists of three main steps. First, securitization, asset securitization via Bai al-Inah contract. Second, the sale of a new bond issues. Third, trading in the secondary market in which the contract of Bai al-Dain at a discount. Asset securitization is the essence of Islam bond issues, as a bond must assume the role of al-mal or property to qualify as an object of sale. An object of sale in the Islamic law of contract must be a property of value. In the Bai al-Inah asset securitization, the financier purchases an asset from the issuer and sells it back to the same party at a credit price. This buyback agreement will ensure that the issuer will receive the money in cash, while the financier will be paid a prefix of a contract amount in a future date. That payment will be made by installment through bond issues. Bond issuance. This usually takes place in the primary market, where in settling its debt, the issuing company will sell the debt certificate or bond to investor. Debt certificate issues is valid only when it is supported by an asset. The bond must be securitized. The underlying security is al-murabaha asset. The underlying asset need not on al-murabaha alone. If the first stage involve a contract of ijarah, then the debt certificate is called Sukuk al-ijarah. If an istisna contract is used, we can call it Sukuk al-istisna. Trading of debt securities. When a debt certificate is securitized, it now becomes property, which is also an article of trade. As an article of trade, the bond can be sold by investor to the issuer or the third party. The issues of buy al-dain arise when the bonds are traded in the secondary market at a discount. In Malaysia, the contract of buy al-dain at a discount is acceptable, while in the Middle East, ulama consider it invalid.
In a sukuk issue, a corporation transfers an asset to a special purpose entity, which then sells investors a claim on those assets and the right to future cash flows in exchange for cash. The firm sells assets to the SPE for the period of the sukuk, and in most circumstances the asset is recorded to the company after the sukuk matures. One could argue that this form of transfer does not qualify as a sale and thus it is not subject to IFRS. ISB is presently looking into this matter. The issue is whether the SPE is a subsidiary that received the asset from the parent firm. If this is the case, the entity should be consolidated in the group accounts, and the asset's value at the conclusion of the financial period should reflect fair value as defined by IFRS and AUFI standards. To be in accordance with Sharia, the asset's value should be at fair value at the end of the financial term, even if the SPE is a separate entity from the originator that transferred the asset. Another significant issue of Islamic finance is the time value of money. According to Sharia, interest is prohibited in Islam. The only thing that should be recorded and disclosed is profit or loss. Because sukuk is not concluded in the standards, the explanations in all of the IFRS are solely focused on interest. In order to express the difference between sukuk and conventional bonds in IFRS, it is required to examine the substance of sukuk.